My name is Sarah Collins. I'm 28 years old, and for a long time, I believed my life was like those stories you see in movies. Perfect love, a small house full of dreams, until it all fell apart. Sometimes I wonder if I was ever truly loved, or if I was just a convenient piece in someone else's game. 3 months ago, I gave birth to my daughter, little Lily, and it was the day she was born that the man I loved, her father, walked away. No note, no explanation, just emptiness, just her crying and mine. People always say things will get better, but no one tells you how to survive until that better comes. I found myself alone, unemployed, broke, and without support. I had to face hunger while rocking my baby with trembling hands. There were nights when the silence in our house was broken only by the sound of my muffled cries, hidden from her. But this isn't a story of defeat. No, it's about what I did next. How, from the ashes of my own pain, I rose again. And what happened, well, no one would believe me if I told them, but today I will tell you, and I hope you're ready. The morning sun timidly filtered through the broken window of our house, lighting up the peeling walls. I was sitting on the cold kitchen floor, with Lily asleep in my lap, her body so tiny it seemed to disappear under the worn-out blanket. The silence was heavy, as if the house itself knew that something had died inside it. Maybe my hope. You'll understand one day, my love. I whispered to Lily, my voice hoarse. You'll understand that sometimes people leave for no reason. And when that happens, remember, your mother stayed. I stayed. My fingers caressed her little face, even though they trembled. The milk had run out 2 days ago, and the bit of rice on the shelf wasn't enough, not even for me. But I couldn't cry anymore, not in front of her. Suddenly, the creak of the door made me jump. For a second, I thought it was Ethan. But of course it wasn't. It was the mailman. He just passed by and dropped an old envelope in the box. I got up slowly, my body aching as if it had aged 20 years in just a few months. I opened the envelope. It was an electric bill, overdue. I looked at the amount and laughed. A dry, broken laugh from someone who has no tears left. What a joke, huh? I said to no one, staring at nothing. What are they charging for? The silence? My stomach growled loudly. Little Lily stirred, whimpering. I kissed her forehead and went to the window. Outside, life went on. People rushing by, cars. The smell of coffee coming from the building next door. Everything the same, yet so far from my reality. I rested my forehead against the glass, closing my eyes. A decision had to be made. I can't wait anymore. Either I do something or we'll disappear. I put on my old denim jacket, tied Lily tightly against my chest with a torn sheet, opened the door, and took my first step outside. The cold wind cut into my skin, but I walked. Each step felt like it weighed a ton. As I turned the corner, I heard the most painful sound, children laughing. They played happily on the sidewalk. Inside, I screamed. I wanted Lily to have that, but I couldn't give it to her. That's when Mrs. Martha's voice, my elderly neighbor, stopped me. Sarah? My God, girl, you're alive? I stopped, looked at her, and realized no one had asked me that in a long time. I'm alive, I think. She came closer, looking at Lily. You need help. I don't need charity, I answered defensively, even knowing I did. Mrs. Martha held out her hand. It's not charity, it's compassion. Accept it, girl, for her. I hesitated, and then broke down. My knees gave out, and I cried loudly right there on the sidewalk. People stared, but I didn't care anymore. He left the day she was born. My voice was just a whisper between sobs. Martha hugged me tightly, like a mother would. Then you're going to stand up, and we're going to figure this out. There, in that hug for the first time in months, I felt something, a thread of hope. But what I didn't know was that this was just the beginning, because what I was about to discover about Ethan would change everything. Mrs. Martha's house was simple, but to someone coming from nothing, it felt like a palace. The smell of fresh bread and coffee filled my nose the moment she opened the door. For a moment, I felt ashamed to be there, so dirty, so broken. "Sit down, Sarah. You don't need to be afraid of me," she said, pulling out a worn wooden chair. "Just sit." I obeyed, holding Lily tightly against my chest. My eyes scanned the place. Floral curtains, old paintings, family photos in crooked frames. Everything so full of life, the opposite of my home. Martha placed a cup of coffee in front of me. "Eat." "No, I can't." "Sarah," her voice became firm, sharp. "You're not begging for charity. You're accepting a breath." I looked into her eyes, and with a lump in my throat, I gave in. I drank the coffee slowly, feeling the hot liquid tearing through my frozen soul. "Where do you think he is?" Martha suddenly asked. My hand froze in mid-air, my heart raced. "Who?" She didn't need to answer. "I knew. Ethan, I don't know. He disappeared." My voice broke. "He didn't even see his daughter's face." Martha sighed, sitting down across from me. "Men like him always leave traces. The problem is, you never wanted to look." "Because I was afraid of what I'd find." Silence. Lily fussed in my lap, hungry. Martha watched. "She needs formula. Milk." "I know." I looked down at the floor, ashamed. "But I don't have anything." Martha stood up, walked to a small safe hidden behind an old cabinet, pulled out a few crumpled bills. "I'm not giving you money, Sarah. I'm giving you choices." She held out the money. "Take it, buy the milk, and tomorrow we're going to look for that man. Together." My head spun. I wanted to say no. I wanted to be strong, but my daughter needed to live. I took the money, crying. "I don't know how to thank you." Martha smiled, but her eyes were serious. "One day you'll help someone the way I'm helping you now. That'll be your debt." I left her house with Lily and the money in my hands. The wind was strong, and the sun was already hiding behind the buildings. I went to the small grocery store on the corner. Each step felt like a weight on my soul. The bell on the door rang when I walked in. The smell of food made me dizzy. "Sarah?" It was Joshua, the clerk. He looked at me surprised and with pity. "I'm here for milk." My voice came out low. "I thought you'd left town." I thought that too. While he grabbed the formula, a conversation in the back of the store caught my attention. Two women whispering. "Did you see Ethan yesterday?" one of them said. My heart froze. "Yeah, up north, near the edge of the city. Seems like he's living with that Vanessa girl." The words hit like knives. Joshua returned, but my mind was already somewhere else. "Sarah, you okay?" I just grabbed the milk, paid, and left. Outside, the world seemed to move in slow motion. Ethan was here, in the same city, and with another woman. My chest burned, but then a new feeling stirred in my stomach. Anger. I was going to find him, and he was going to listen to me. Night fell like a weight on my skin. I walked through the deserted city streets, numb to the cold, cutting through the air. Lily slept strapped against my body, and every step brought me closer, not just to Ethan, but to a truth I had never wanted to face. At Mrs. Martha's door, I knocked 3 times. She opened without a word. Her eyes read my face before I even spoke. "Where is he?" I asked, my voice nearly gone. She didn't ask how I knew. She just stepped aside, letting me in. "Sit down, Sarah. Let's talk." "I don't want to talk. I want to know where he is." "And what are you going to do when you find him?" I thought. I had no answer. "I just need to look him in the eye. That's all." Martha sighed deeply, sitting down across from me. The warm lights in the living room couldn't thaw my frozen soul. "Her name is Vanessa Carter. Works at a beauty salon up in the north part of the city. My nephew's neighbor saw Ethan with her, and he didn't look like a man running away. He looked happy." Her words cut through me. So, you're telling me that while I've been here starving alone, he's been rebuilding his life? I'm telling you that you deserve answers, and I'll go with you. No, Sarah, this is my fight. Martha stayed silent. Then she gave in. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat on her kitchen floor, rocking Lily, staring at the ceiling, rehearsing a conversation that might never happen. Fear and anger wrestled inside me like two wild dogs. When the morning came, I found courage. I put on my worn-out jacket, secured Lily tightly against me, and left. The north side of the city felt like another world. Clean streets, shiny storefronts, cheap perfume leaking out of beauty shops. I stopped in front of Vanessa's glam salon. That was it. My heart felt like it was about to burst. I stepped inside. The bell above the door rang like a death sentence. The women inside stopped and stared at me. And then she appeared. Vanessa. Bleached blonde hair, heavy makeup, high heels. She looked me up and down, smiled, a cruel smile, like someone who knew more than they'd admit. "Can I help you?" My mouth went dry, but I had to ask. "Ethan, where is he?" The other women whispered, stepping back. Vanessa didn't look surprised. "Ethan," she laughed, a fake, hollow laugh. "You must be the ex." "I'm the mother of his child." For a second, something flickered in her eyes. Pity? Regret? I didn't know. "He doesn't want to be found." My breathing faltered. "Why?" "Because to him you were a mistake. And mistakes, Sarah, we leave behind." My legs buckled. I clutched Lily, feeling the ground vanish beneath me. But before I collapsed, Vanessa said something that burned deeper. "And if you really want to know, he's with me, and he's never been happier." My tears dried on my cheeks. I wasn't going to break. I was going to fight. This isn't over. And I left that salon, carrying not just my daughter, but a promise. From that moment on, Ethan was going to face me, whether he liked it or not. The walk back to Mrs. Martha's house felt like a blur. My feet moved, but my mind was stuck on that last sentence. "He's never been happier." Those words echoed inside me like gunshots. When I arrived, I slammed the door shut. Lily cried against my chest, maybe feeling the rage pulsing inside me. Martha ran in from the kitchen. "What happened? Where is he?" My eyes burned. I collapsed onto the floor, exhausted. "He's with her. That Vanessa woman. They're together." Martha stayed silent for a moment. Then she sat down beside me. "I'm sorry, Sarah." "No, you're not." I looked at her, my eyes overflowing. "Because he's living, and I'm just surviving." She took my hand firmly. "Then it's time for you to live too." I laughed, a hollow laugh. "How, Martha? With what? I'm a woman abandoned, no job, with a newborn child. Who's going to give me a chance?" She thought for a moment, then said something that changed everything. "You don't need someone to give you a chance. You need to create one." Her words sank in. Then she shared her plan. The next day, she introduced me to Rita, the owner of a small diner where Martha cleaned tables on weekends. Rita looked at me suspiciously at first, my clothes, my tired face. But Martha spoke for me. "She needs work, Rita, not charity. Just work." Rita stared at me, sighed. "You know how to mop floors?" "I do." "Know how to handle rude customers?" "I do." She held out her hand. "Then you start tomorrow." My legs nearly gave out, but this time, from gratitude. Night fell, and for the first time in a long time, Lily slept without my crying in the background. I had a plan. I had a start. But before I fell asleep looking out Martha's window, I made a promise to myself. "Ethan Collins, I'm going to show you what you lost." And what I didn't know yet was that the next morning he would be the one looking for me, because the past always comes back. The next morning, before the sun even lit up the street, I was already awake. Little Lily slept peacefully in Mrs. Martha's old cradle. I put on my denim jacket, tied my messy hair, and took a deep breath. I was starting over. For my daughter. I arrived at the diner at 6 in the morning. The smell of bacon and burnt coffee filled my empty stomach. Rita nodded at me. Grab the mop. The floor's waiting. I grabbed the mop like it was a sword. Each cleaning motion felt like I was scrubbing the past away. My muscles burned, my body screamed, but I didn't stop. I couldn't stop. "Sarah," Rita called from the kitchen, "take coffee to table 4. I ran, I served, I cleaned, I endured the truckers' bad jokes, the suspicious stares from the women. Time felt frozen. By the afternoon, I sat for just a second behind the diner, catching my breath. My fingers trembled. I was exhausted, but strangely alive. "Hey!" The voice behind me froze my blood. I turned slowly. Ethan. There he was, standing, dirty but stronger than I remembered. His brown eyes, now colder. He had a scruffy beard and wore clothes that showed he no longer cared. Lily cried inside the diner, and I felt tears burn down my face. "You," I murmured, voiceless. "Sarah." He hesitated. I heard, "You were looking for me." Each of his words cut into me. "You heard? And why are you here? To see if I'm really begging for scraps?" He lowered his head. "I came because I needed to see Lily." "Now?" My voice exploded. "After 3 months? After disappearing the day she was born?" He said nothing. My rage blinded me. "Where were you, Ethan, while I starved, while your daughter cried?" He finally looked at me, but what I saw in his eyes wasn't guilt. It was fear. I was running away. His voice cracked. "From myself." "Don't you dare make yourself the victim!" Lily cried louder. My body ached, my soul screamed. Then Ethan stepped closer. "I want to help Sarah, now, any way I can." I laughed, a dry, bitter laugh. "No need. We've already learned how to survive without you." He stopped, his pride wounded, but I didn't care. "Sarah, I want to know her." "No, not until you understand what it means to be a father." I turned my back. But before I stepped inside, I heard his final words. "I did things, Sarah, things you don't know about, and soon you'll find out." I trembled. Ethan's past was hiding something much bigger than I ever imagined. His words kept echoing in my mind. "I did things, Sarah, things you don't know." Night fell heavy and thick. At Mrs. Martha's house, I sat on the floor by the fire while she made dinner. Lily slept nearby, finally fed. But I couldn't rest. My thoughts kept spinning in circles. "So, he showed up," Martha said, turning to me with a pan in her hands. "He did, but I sent him away." "And what are you going to do if he comes back?" I said nothing. She sat beside me, staring into the fire. "You know your story with him was never simple, right, Sarah?" I looked at her, confused. "What do you mean?" Martha sighed. "I've known Ethan since he was a kid, troubled boy, grew up without a mother, an alcoholic father. He learned early that love meant hurting. I thought I could fix him." She squeezed my hand. "Your mistake was thinking that was your responsibility." Tears streamed down my face. In the middle of the night, unable to sleep, I slipped out the back door, walking under the night sky. The city slept, but I didn't. I wandered the streets aimlessly until I stopped in front of a rundown bar. Red lights flickered overhead, and that's where I ran into Joshua, the grocery store clerk. "Sarah, what are you doing here?" he asked, surprised. "I'm looking for answers. Did you know Ethan was still in town?" Joshua hesitated. "I knew, yeah. But I thought it was better not to tell you." My chest tightened. "Why?" He sighed, glancing around like the shadows might be listening. "Because he's mixed up with dangerous people, Sarah. People who don't forgive debts." I froze. "Debts?" Joshua stepped closer. "Gambling. He bet more than he could pay, got himself into serious trouble. That's why he ran from you, not just out of cowardice, out of fear." My legs gave out. I leaned against the bar wall, breathless. "Oh my God!" And there's more, Joshua continued. Word is, he's using Vanessa to hide. My hands trembled. I need to find him. Again. Sarah, listen to me. If you get involved in this, you might not get out. I looked up at the night sky swallowing me whole. I don't have a choice. Because now, my daughter's future depended on it. I returned home with my body broken, but my mind sharp. At dawn, I woke Martha. Take me to the neighborhood where Ethan's staying. She hesitated. Sarah, please. She gave in. The ride was silent. Then on a narrow, dirty street she pointed. There. And there it was, a small wooden house, windows boarded up, a black car parked out front, the house where Ethan was hiding his past. And maybe my future. Are you going in? Not today. Then what are you going to do? I looked at her, cold. I'm going to wait for him to leave, and I'll follow. I want to know everything, because this time I needed answers, even if it meant risking my own safety. I waited for hours, hidden behind an abandoned car on the corner. The cold night wind cut through my skin, but my anger kept me standing. Every passing headlight made my heart race. Every door slam felt like a threat. But I was determined. Martha stood across the street, arms crossed, watching me nervously. Sarah, let's go home. This isn't something a mother should be doing. You're putting Lily at risk, she said once again, trying to convince me. I'm a mother exactly because of this, Martha. I'm here for her. And then the moment came. The house door opened. Ethan stepped out, but he wasn't alone. With him, two men in black jackets, tough-looking guys, the type Joshua had warned me about. They spoke quickly, nervously. Ethan looked around, clearly anxious. I followed from a distance, silent. Martha whispered from behind, Sarah, come back. For God's sake, come back. I ignored her. They entered an old warehouse 3 streets down. The iron door slammed shut behind them. That's where the secret was hidden, but I wasn't turning back. I got closer, hearing muffled voices inside. I told you, I need more time. Ethan's voice, tense. Enough time, Collins. Either you pay or the girl pays. My blood turned to ice. What girl? Don't touch her, Ethan shouted. Silence, then laughter. Then fix this. Because Vanessa, she's not bulletproof. My legs buckled. They were threatening Vanessa, and Ethan was trying to protect her. Hot tears rolled down my face. Everything I believed in was crumbling. Martha pulled me back, desperate. Sarah, come back. You have no idea who you're dealing with. But before I could move, the warehouse door swung open. One of the men saw me. Hey, who's there? Fear took over. I ran. My lungs burned. My heart pounded. Martha screamed, Sarah, run, for God's sake, run! We ran through dark alleys, hearing their footsteps behind us. Every breath felt like a plea for help. Finally, we lost them. When we reached Martha's house, we collapsed on the living room floor, breathless. She looked at me, terrified. You almost died tonight. Do you understand that? I cried like a child. I just wanted answers, Martha. I just wanted to understand. She hugged me tightly. And now you understand. He ran to save her. I whispered, and left me to die alone. The night passed, and in the silence of the early morning, I made my decision. The next day I was going to knock on that door. And Ethan would have to choose, either tell me the truth or lose me forever. The next morning, the sky felt heavier. The city air smelled of gasoline and dust. The cold didn't let up, but my heart burned. I was determined. I left Lily with Martha. I kissed her forehead before I left. Today, Mummy's going to find the truth, my love, I whispered. I walked alone to Ethan's house. Every step echoed in my mind. When I arrived, I stood in front of the wooden door. The silence inside was deafening. I knocked 3 times, firmly. I waited. Nothing. I knocked again. And then the door opened. But it wasn't Ethan. It was Vanessa. Her eyes were swollen, her face pale. But what I saw wasn't anger. It was fear. "What do you want, Sarah?" Her voice shook. "I want to talk to him." "He's not here." "Don't lie." She hesitated, then she stepped aside. "Come in." I walked into the small, dark house. The curtains were shut, the air thick with cigarette smoke and sweat. In the living room, Ethan sat on the couch, his head down. He looked like a broken man. He didn't lift his eyes when he saw me. "Say what you came to say, Sarah." My hands trembled. "They threatened her, didn't they?" He closed his eyes. "I didn't want to drag you into this. You dragged me in the day you abandoned me." Vanessa stepped away in silence, and then Ethan finally spoke. "I made debts, gambled more than I could pay. By the time I realized, I owed double. And not to just anyone. Dangerous people. When they found out about you, they threatened to come after you. I ran to protect you." My throat closed up. "And how did leaving your daughter without food protect her?" He looked into my eyes for the first time. "I thought if I disappeared, they'd forget about you." Tears streamed down my face. "And you really believed that?" He broke down, buried his face in his hands. He cried like I'd never seen before. "I just wanted to protect you, but I ended up destroying everything." From the kitchen, Vanessa whispered, "And now they're coming after me." I stayed silent. My hatred for her was shifting into something new, compassion. She was a victim too. "Then enough running, Ethan." He looked at me, lost. "What do you want me to do?" "Fight. For yourself, for her, for us." He shook his head, desperate. "I have nothing left, Sarah." I stepped closer, held his face in my hands. "Then use what's left of you." For a moment I saw the Ethan I once loved. But before either of us could speak, the sound of tires screeching outside froze us. Someone had arrived, and this time, it wasn't Martha. Vanessa whispered, "They're here." My eyes locked with Ethan's. "It's time to choose whose side you're on." Outside, men's voices shouted. Inside, silence. The clock of fear started ticking. The shouting outside sliced through the air like knives. "Collins, we know you're in there!" The metallic sound of a crowbar scraping the gate made Vanessa sob in fear. Ethan stood, trembling, staring at the door like a man facing his own death sentence. "They're going to get in, Sarah. They're going to get in," he repeated, panicking. I grabbed him by the shoulders and shook him. "Look at me. Do you want to die a coward? Do you want your daughter to grow up never knowing who her father was?" He cried. But this time it wasn't weakness. It was desperation. I don't know what to do." "Then listen." My voice was firm. "Take Vanessa. Go out the back. Head to Martha's house. I'll hold them off." "You're insane." "No, I'm a mother." Vanessa looked at me, her eyes wide with disbelief. "Why? After everything, why?" I took a deep breath. "Because I know what it feels like to be left behind." She broke down, clinging to Ethan. "Go with her, Vanessa, now." Ethan hesitated. He looked at me one last time. "If something happens to you, nothing will. Now, go." They ran out the back door. The front door shuddered under a heavy blow. "Collins, open up or we'll break it down." I looked around. Nothing to defend myself with, only my courage, and my daughter waiting for me at home. I took a step, opened the door. Two men stared at me. Black jackets, cold eyes. One held a chain. "Where is he?" the taller one growled. My legs trembled, but my voice didn't. "He's not here anymore." "You're lying. Search the place." They exchanged glances. One of them stormed inside, searching every corner. He came back. "Gone." The other man stepped closer, slowly. "And who are you?" "I'm the woman he abandoned." He laughed dryly. "Lucky guy. Depends on how you see it." He tilted his head. "Why protect trash like Collins?" I stared into his eyes. "Because he's still the father of my child." Silence. For a second, I thought they'd attack me. But then the man backed off, spat on the ground. "He won't get far. We always find him." They turned their backs. and disappeared into the night. When the silence returned, my legs gave out. I sat on the porch floor, my heart still pounding like a drum. Minutes later, I heard hurried footsteps. It was Ethan running. "Sarah! Sarah!" He found me collapsed, lifted me into his arms, desperate. "Why? Why did you do that?" "Because you needed time. And now, you're going to listen to me." His eyes were red. "Tell me what to do, Sarah. I'm just a broken man." I held his face, exhausted but steady. "Then learn to be whole. For me, for Vanessa, for Lily. You still believe in me?" "No, but I might believe again, if you fight." He hugged me, tight, tighter than ever before. That night, Ethan Collins was reborn. But the price for redemption had yet to be paid. The following days were a mix of fear and hope. Ethan, Vanessa, and I shared the same roof now, Mrs. Martha's house, which never felt cramped, even when space ran out. She never complained. At night, we watched Lily sleep in silence. Each breath of hers reminded us of what truly mattered, but danger still hovered, like a shadow behind the door. That morning, Ethan asked to speak to me. "Sarah, I need to leave town." My throat tightened. "Running again?" "It's not running. It's protection," he said quietly. "I'll give them the car, pay part of the debt, then disappear for a while." I took a deep breath, feeling my old anger creeping back. "And what about us? Do we disappear too?" He lowered his head. "I don't deserve to stay. And what if I told you, Lily deserves to have you here?" His eyes filled with tears. "You still believe I can change?" "I believe. You owe it to her." Silence settled between us, and for the first time, Ethan cried without hiding it. And I held him, but this time, it wasn't out of romantic love. It was out of compassion, out of connection, out of shared history. Later, Vanessa found me in the kitchen. "Sarah, thank you." "For what?" She wiped her tears discreetly. "For not hating me." I looked at her, tired. "I've hated enough in my life. Now, I just want peace." She smiled through tears. "Thank you, Sarah, for everything." And for the first time, I wished her well, without resentment. That night, Ethan left. But he didn't run. He went straight to the warehouse. I knew this because Mrs. Martha followed from a distance. He handed over the car, asked for more time. The men accepted, for now. When he returned, Ethan seemed like a different man. "So now what?" "Now I fight clean." He handed me something small, but heavier than the world itself, a keychain with Lily's name on it. "This belongs to you." That night, I sat alone on the porch, staring at the stars. I felt someone sit beside me. It was Vanessa. "I'm thinking about leaving town," she said suddenly, "to start over, to forget." I looked at her. "Don't forget, Vanessa. Learn." She smiled, crying softly. "Thank you, Sarah, for everything." And this time, I truly meant it when I wished her happiness. The next day, Ethan found me holding Lily in my arms. "I know I'll never be the father you dreamed of, but I want to be the father she needs. Start by being here." He nodded, and in that moment, something changed. Not the past, but the future, because finally we were starting together. My name is Sarah Collins, and this is the story of how I was abandoned the day I gave birth, but it's not a story about abandonment. It's a story about choices, about falling, and most of all, about starting over. Many times when someone hurts us, we think hatred is our only option. I thought that way for months, but hatred kept me trapped. And only when I chose to forgive, not for him, but for me, that I finally felt free. Today, I'm still fighting. I work hard every day in that same diner. Ethan, he still makes mistakes, but now he tries, he comes home. He holds Lily in his arms like he's holding the world. And for today, that's enough. Vanessa, she left. She sent a letter a few weeks later. said she was okay, that she started fresh in a small town. I smiled when I read it, and I wished her happiness. Life is not a fairy tale. I learned that the hardest way, but I also learned that true love doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real. If you've listened to my story until now, thank you, truly. And if you know someone struggling to start over, share this story with them. Because sometimes all someone needs is to know they're not alone. I'm Sarah. I stayed, I fought, and I won. If this story touched you, leave a comment below. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's spread hope, because no one should have to fight alone.